everyone, I'm Dina Ventura and welcome to Pairfect, where we delve into the heart of passion, purpose, and the connections that shape who we are.
And I'm Elizabeth Timbol. Today we celebrate a story of artistry and the enduring power of performance. Joining us are two remarkable women behind the Philippine Opera Company staging of Masterclass, a powerful play inspired by the life and legacy of the legendary opera diva Maria Callas.
One is a celebrated actress and musical theater icon portraying one of the most influential performers in history. And the other is a visionary dedicated to bringing opera and classical arts closer to Filipino audiences.
Please welcome to our show Ms. Menchu Lauchengco-Yulo and Ms. Karla Gutierrez. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
So let's go right into it, no?
Yes.
Masterclass.
Masterclass.
Okay, so it explores the passion, discipline, and sacrifices behind great artistry. What was your first personal connection to this material, and why did this story resonate with both of you?
Okay, I'll start. I have to be honest. Maria Callas to me was just. I didn't know much about her. I knew she was Maria Callas. I knew that she was fabulous and excellent at what she did, but I'm not in the opera world, so I really had to dig into who Maria Callas is. I mean, if I'm going to portray her, I don't want to copy her because it's going to be very difficult, but I'd like to have at least the essence of her. But what really struck me about the material is this is based on real master classes that were done in Juilliard in 1971 and 72. By then her voice wasn't anymore what it was, and so she accepted these classes at Juilliard, and Terence McNally, who saw these classes, took the files and created Masterclass. But what struck me about the material more than anything else is what is the topic of the show, which is literally the craft and what it takes to become a serious artist. She was very adamant about the acting, the text. What are you saying? What are you feeling? What are you talking about? Rather than just singing. And Zeffirelli, there's this joke in the opera world where Zeffirelli says there's a BC and an AC, which is before Callas and after Callas, because Callas brought drama to opera. So she brought all of that. So when you watch the show, but people might think, oh, I don't want to watch opera. It's not about opera. Opera just happens to be the medium. But it's all about what does it take to be a serious actor.
Okay.
That is what the whole, so it can be anyone. It can be anything. You can be a cook, you can be a painter, because it's all about what, do not compromise. You give 100%, and that is what she is very, very strict about, and you will see it in the play.
So you were saying that because you're more on the musical theater side, not so much on the opera side. So as an actress and trying to tell this story, how challenging, I mean, among all the roles that you've played, how challenging was this role for you to take on?
The biggest challenge is 50 pages of monologue. That was my number one challenge. At my age, memory isn't great anymore, so I was like, can I do this? Can I do this? And I'm looking at the script. 3-page monologue, she doesn't stop talking. And it's monologue upon monologue. So that was the first thing that I was like, okay, if I don't do this now, when? I don't think my memory will serve me down the line. But what I loved about it is because I have conducted master classes in musical theater, and it is exactly what I teach. So I find myself saying, oh my God, I've done this. I look at Jaime and I go, oh my God, we are like this, you know, and we're teaching. We're very passionate. You're like, what are you saying? Okay, do that again. What are you meaning? Use the music. Let it, you know, feel the music. What is the music telling you? Don't just go loud because you're supposed to go loud. There's a reason for going loud. It's emotionally driven. So it's exactly what I could connect to her immediately.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what did you find most relatable to that?
My God, it's like I knew exactly what she was talking about.
Okay, so it was easy for you to memorize.
No.
You should see her script. It's so colorful.
My script is color coded. So in terms, because the way it's beautifully written by Terrence McNally, because you see the hard Maria Callas. You see how determined she was. You see, because she went through a lot.
Yeah.
She was terrified of performing. There was a lot of intriga. They were always trying to bring her down. There's a lot of competition. And so she was very scared of performing and always being judged. But then, so she is a hardened woman, and she's so adamant. She gets very impatient when she sees these students that are just singing. And so, but Terrence makes us go into her psyche, and you see the real Maria, the vulnerable side of her, and why she is the way she is. So there's all of that. So there's this whole end of Act 1 and end of Act 2 are 3-page monologues.
Okay.
And she goes in and out. Her thoughts are like this. And so I had to color code it just so that I know, okay, this is a different thought. This is a different one. And you'll know what I mean when you see it, because she just goes in and out of her head.
Yeah.
You know, but it's said aloud so that
Yeah.
people now see what she went through with Aristotle Onassis, what she went through with the other singers, what she
Yeah.
went through. But that's separate
Yeah.
from what you see her teaching. And then you realize at the end why she was so hard on her students and why she is the way she is.
So going through all of that, no, what is your takeaway as an actress? You know, learning about her life, acting out her life for the stage. What is your personal takeaway from
That
her
it doesn't
story?
change. Whatever she was doing when she was at her prime, which was what, the 40s, no? Because she was during the war.
Yeah.
She's, and that was her height. That's why, unfortunately, there's not too many videos of her. Only
Yeah.
Tosca, because
Okay.
it was very early on. What she was strict about, what she talked about, what her her dedication to her craft applies today. If you want to be
We're
an
just talking
artist,
Yeah.
about it.
don't do, kaya ko na yan, I'll wing it, bahala na.
Hindi pwede.
You cannot. You can. If there has to be a dedication to the craft. You have to set the bar. You have to push yourself 100%, and that's what she did. That's why I know she got sick towards the end, but that's also why she ruined her voice, because she would be
Okay.
singing roles that she
drove
shouldn't be
herself.
singing.
Okay.
In fact, there was I read in one of her I heard in one of her documentaries that she did, I believe it was La Traviata today, and another one tomorrow. She did Norma the next
Yeah.
day.
Oh wow.
And you don't do that.
They don't do that. They
You
should
don't
have a
do
rest
that.
pa nga eh, in
You
between.
rest. So when she says her line, there's a line in the play that she says, as if I had any rivals. How can you have a rival when no one can do what you can do? And you realize
Right.
where that line comes from is that nobody dared to do what she did. You do not sing one opera today and another opera tomorrow, which
Yeah.
are two different, I don't know, opera, I don't understand. But I know that you don't do that.
Yeah.
And she would put in the drama. If she wanted her voice to cry, then she'd cry, which you don't do.
Yeah, she
You know.
changed the packaging of
Yeah.
of opera
Yeah.
from fat to
Yeah.
thin.
She changed bel canto and gave it drama, because
Yeah.
bel canto is beautiful singing.
Yeah.
But and so that is what she teaches here in this musical. So a musical, this play. So it's not really about opera. It just so happens that it is the theme is classical
Yeah.
singers,
Yeah.
but it's all about love of craft and
Okay.
dedication.
So, Menchu, would you say that this is one of your hardest roles to play?
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm so tired after. I'm so
Drains you.
tired after. I always go home and I go, why do I have a headache? Oh yes, that one. So it's because you have to give so much. You have to give so much.
And her monologues kasi from Onassis, biglang Kalas.
Yeah, I go from what Onassis is telling me, and then I go into Karla's reaction, then I go into Onassis telling me that, I was a fat, ugly canary, into me reacting to that, into me. And what's very difficult about the monologues is it's set to music.
Oh.
So it's time. So I have
Yeah.
to keep one ear on the music because
Yeah.
it's set to a certain...
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you hear the recordings of Callas when I go into my head.
Yeah.
And I react to myself at the same time I'm hearing what Aristotle was telling me and insulting me, and then I'm also reacting to what he said to me, and then listening to the music, and then I have to say, oh, this part I did it well, and then I go back to being Aristotle. You know, so it's so draining.
She's a psycho.
Psycho.
Brought out the psycho.
Yeah, brought out the Jekyll and Hyde. So that's it, and making it clear and doing it within the music. I can't take my time because the music is going to end, and I have to respond to the applause in the music. So that it's tiring, very tiring, and I really need to give it the energy because that's what she talks about. Passion, feeling. She's so about that.
What about you, Karla?
Nakatingin na lang ako kay Menchu. No, actually, the reason why we chose masterclass is because opera is such a niche market, and the real problem is we don't have enough audience for opera, and that's why talagang we're boosting our efforts under the artistic development program. And I guess this is a very apt production because it's really it's an opera one-on-one. And ayun. And the material is into the commercial side. And di ba? It's hard kasi to promote or to produce Tosca, La Traviata, or whatever, because it's unfamiliar to them. But when you say Maria Callas, there's
some recognition.
Yeah, there's a recognition. There's a little market, or there, especially that, when you say Maria Callas, oh, she's our goddess.
Okay.
La Divina.
La Divina.
That's what
And
she
it's
was
our
called.
25th anniversary. And this is very apt. And we did it already 3 times. And my God, Menchu is totally different.
Ooh.
Yeah, she got all the nuances.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
As in, nasaniban din ni Callas eh.
Gusto ko makita.
Hindi, grabe talaga. As in, yeah, you got the nuances
I
talaga.
did?
Yes.
So
Okay.
how does
Okay.
but why do you think masterclass is such an important show for people to see nowadays? I mean, you were already talking about it's opera 101
Yeah.
essentially, but I mean, we already know what a certain young actor said a few months ago, right? So I mean, I think that this show coming out now is rather timely,
I think it's applicable to anything. Like I said, she talks about passion, dedication, discipline. Those are things you apply in everything. Whether, like I said, whether you're a cook,
Yeah.
I mean, if you compromise with your ingredients, that's going to be the result, right?
Yeah.
But if you get the best ingredients, then you're going to have a great dish.
Yeah.
You can be in an office, but if you're not dedicated and passionate about your work,
Yeah.
so it's not confined to just being a master class in opera. It's everybody. The idea that when you do something, you give it your all or don't do it at all.
Okay.
And this applies to everything.
That's why also I'm asking the help of DepEd because of the MAPE problem. Like for example, because before we had 1 hour of music, 1 hour of arts, health, but now it's already one subject. So yeah, that's why it's MAPE. That's why it's MAPE. It's
I also
music,
found out.
arts, PE, and health
In
one subject. So nagtuturo ng music are PE teachers and math teachers. So that's why one parent approached me and she said that, my kid was crying because she's an avid fan of Mozart. And her teacher said, oh, let's listen to Mozart. And then let's
It's like
listen to
Chopin.
Yeah, it's Chopin. So let's listen to Mozart. Okay, here's a symphony of Mozart. So now classical equals boring because they don't have the facility or the equipment to teach classical music.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been asking for the help of DepEd because we also have certain shows that's dedicated to the public school teachers. So we got some angels to sponsor their tickets. And they will go home with their music teacher modules for them to be able to teach.
That's good. That's good, no?
That's nice.
Because opera is already part of K10.
K10.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the example
That's
in the
good.
textbook, guess what? It's Carmen. So sabi ko, why naman teach Pokpok naman? Why make Carmen an example to the students? There's magic flute, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh
they
my
don't know
God,
anything.
Carmen talaga?
Yeah, it's Carmen.
Will they change that or hindi naman? No.
Or is there a way for you to maybe advocate for it?
I've been
Yeah.
trying to, yeah. Like, our MAPE or our DepEd talaga, as in, sobrang deep the problem. Like the public school, yeah. Carmen, right? Diba?
Yeah.
And they don't have instruments. So sabi nila, how can we teach music if we don't have
Yeah.
instruments?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's
so
a whole other story.
That's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
other
that's a story.
True.
As Carla would say, that's another
Another story.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay. So speaking of, since we're already on the subject of your
Mhm.
advocacy, right?
Mhm.
You started the Philippine Opera Company 25 years ago.
Actually, we're turning 26.
Oh, 26
Wow.
already.
Mm.
So with the goal of bringing opera closer to a more mass audience, right? Or for greater opera appreciation, right? So how would you, I guess, what would be your metric for success? That,
Yeah, metric for success
yeah.
is because maybe we're still here, we're still around, and
Yeah, you've survived all
You've
this
survived.
time.
yes, and the artists are growing,
Okay.
and there are, how can I say that? Opera companies trying to make
Put up shows.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good, how what do you call that? Metric.
Metric.
Yeah. So, ano pa? As I've said,
Yeah.
kanina sabi ko, oh, my man is, orchestra premium, seat number 4, balcony.
Bonkers.
I'm psychotic. I'm a psycho.
She is Maria Callas.
Yes, I'm Maria Callas today. I love it. No, and plus, for corporate events, they ask for
Yeah.
opera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do an opera excerpt or can you sing an aria from this production? Na unlike before, na parang, huh, what's that?
Yeah.
And with the K-dramas, you can also hear the arias. So actually, we're gonna have another show, a small one for the black box,
Yeah.
and we're naming it opera.
Okay.
Yeah, because opera,
Opa.
it's opa
Opera.
and the ra.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Cool.
We're, yeah.
Okay,
Teka.
okay.
So,
So you're
ginagawa na namin lahat ng paraan. Yeah, to get diba, the audience.
You
So
have to be
we do a
creative.
lot of out of the box
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you
concepts.
have to. You
Yeah.
have to get people interested.
And then what's important is we really go to the schools, like the public schools, and really teach them and make opera fun. Because to them, opera is stiff. Opera is for the elite. No. Opera is for everyone. Like before 1800s, it was the musical.
Yeah,
So nowadays,
yeah.
when you go to Met, as in, my God, hubaran na rin, the guys, di ba, with the bodies and everything. So it's the same with a musical. So, and I think Karla's changed that.
Yeah.
Now,
Callas
it's
was
not just
very-
about singing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Was
a
it
total
drama?
package. That's why before she was in the heavy side and she had to diet. Because sabi niya, na, how can I be Violetta? I'm dying and then I'm so,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Because she was very fat and she wasn't very beautiful.
she changed opera.
So she changed her physicality
Okay.
completely.
That's
Yeah.
commitment.
And
talaga,
she
yeah.
was inspired by Audrey Hepburn.
Oh.
So at the height of Audrey Hepburn, I actually say that in one of my lines. Another Audrey Hepburn, people are saying. And that was her icons she wanted to be. So she went on a crash diet and she lost
She
all
did
the
it.
weight.
She
Yeah.
did it. Wow.
She did because she was fat and when she was young and not very pretty, and she wore thick glasses but she was so vain, so she would never wear glasses on stage because she was so vain.
And
So
she
there
was
was
practically blind, diba?
she was blind. She was blind as a bat. Myopic was the
Myopic.
ano. And
Heavily myopic.
And so there's a story when she was doing Tosca. She didn't see the candelabra behind her too well. So she walked into it and her wig caught on fire. So the tenor had to do this.
Kill the
That's an
things.
actual thing. Yeah, that's an actual thing.
Wow.
You know, but she was very vain, so she would not wear glasses. And I don't think uso pa noon ng contacts. So I don't know.
Wala pa,
Wala
wala
pa.
pa.
So she would refuse to wear glasses.
Yeah, just-
And then she has a funny line in the play where she goes, the good thing about being this nearsighted is you don't have to follow the conductor. How can you? You can't see him. But I never made them follow me. I always we work together. She's funny. She has a lot of funny lines. She's a funny lady.
How about you? You've been in theater for a long time. What sort of personal sacrifices or going out of and beyond have you done?
Well, I started in 1978. I guess my sacrifices happened already when I was a mother and wife, because theater is a very jealous mistress. You cannot go at it at 50%. So somewhere along the way, and I look back, and I do regret it, because I missed out on a lot of things with my children, because I was, and I'm very OC and I'm very dedicated. So that would be my biggest trying to balance it. But what I did was when my children were young, I did not work until they were 2, and when they turned 2. As they were growing up, I only did 1 major show a year. And I think it's because of that I really got to, because I only had 1. So you pour everything in that one, and because you only have 1. So I think that helped me really work on the craft. Because if I had, like now, you jump from one show to the next show to the next show, sometimes somewhere along the way something gets compromised.
Right.
I didn't have that when I was, when my children were growing up. But still, those 3 months that my children were growing up, those 3 months, I was kind of not around. So I think that would be my biggest sacrifice,
I think it's true for a lot of women.
Yeah, I
who
think
have
so
children
too.
and
Sometimes it's a choice. They say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to my family, which I tried for a while, but there was something in me that was lacking. So my husband allowed me to go back. But I always
can
waited until they were at least 2 years old. They were 4 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, with the story of Maria Callas, what do you hope the younger audiences would learn from her story?
Again, I go back to the idea of do not be mediocre. You go, you do it, you give 100%, whatever it is, whether you're in sports, whether you're in the kitchen, whether you're in business, you give 100%, because that is what you deserve to give 100%. You cannot just give 20% of your time, or it's not important to me, I won't bother.
Yeah.
No, it's respect for yourself and dignity of work. And that is the message of Masterclass. She has a beautiful speech in the end where she encompasses everything. And you'll hear that, because after that whole hullabaloo with the students and how she treated them, she does say to the audience, if I've been harsh, it's because I've been harsh on myself. And that's what it's all about.
That's why the new generation should watch this.
Yes. And all of these, pwede na yan, pwede na yan, bahala na, pwede na yan. Wow, Maria Callas would roll in her grave
Yeah.
if that was, the situation.
And you cannot compromise.
You cannot. You have to give 100%. If you're going, I'll speak from the theatrical point of view, because that's where I am. If you're going to accept the role, then you give it 100%. So you cannot give 100% if you're doing events and you're absent and you're doing this. How are you going to dedicate, to the rehearsal if you're not there 100%, I understand it's a financial thing. I totally get that. But you have to also respect the craft. Yeah.
Respect the craft.
Respect the craft.
Would you say the same about, you built an illustrious career as an opera singer
Yeah.
and actress.
Because I think both of us came from one.
Old school.
Yeah, very old
Very
school.
old
That,
school kami.
with Tita Bibot, as in we learn na talagang aim for excellence.
Yes, always. Aim for perfection.
Yeah.
Aim
Passion
for
and aim
perfection.
for excellence.
Yeah.
And yun yung tumatak talaga sa akin.
Yeah.
And I told Tita Bibot kasi that I'm putting up an opera company. And I
Yeah.
told her that, can you be a consultant? Sabi niya, yeah, sure, why not? But Karla, this is my ano lang to you. You're putting up a company, just remember this. Aim for excellence.
Nice.
Always.
Oh, on that note, let's just pause for a short commercial break.
This break is brought to you by Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Usapang OFW is the show that honors the journeys of our modern-day heroes, our OFWs. Join Chingby Fernandez, John Dodson, and Rafi Ayang every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. to hear the real stories behind the sacrifices. Watch it live on Daily Tribun's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
Want to hear from thought leaders shaping our world? Straight Talk with Chito Lazada and Ted Montalibano dives into leadership, politics, and business every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Catch conversation live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still here with Miss Menchu, Lauchengco-Yulo, and Miss Karla Gutierrez, who are from Philippine Opera Company's production of Masterclass. Okay, so Masterclass talks deeply about mentorship and discipline and artistic excellence, and you both mentioned Nika Bibot Amador as one of your mentors. But who are the other mentors who have influenced you, your work, your careers over the past 2 decades or more and more?
Well, we grew up in rep.
Yeah.
So rep was our playground. Of course, Baby Barredo was a great influence on me, especially because she was Baby Barredo. And so she saw something in me that I didn't see. And she really, really made sure she would give me things or roles to do where I felt I couldn't do. But like I said, she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So I owe her that much. I owe the two of them that much. Because I was very, very terrified. I was very insecure. I never studied. So I was just happy in the chorus. It was them who plucked me out and sent me to voice lessons, made me, because I guess, like I said, they saw something in me that I didn't. So both of them were great. They taught me a lot of what I know today. Freddie Santos was another one who also worked with me a lot, and in my early days, because I didn't know anything. I was not aral in any way. So I learned everything by making mistakes on stage and being thrown with the veterans and sink or swim. But those would be my... And then later on, as we grow up and we learn and we realize the craft, because in the beginning we were just terrified. As long as they're happy, we're happy. So it wasn't even about the craft. It's just Bibot smiling. Okay. She didn't curse me today, or she didn't throw me a score today. So
Douglas pa.
yeah. So we, after we grew and we started learning more about the craft and starting to realize things, then amongst my peers that we would know each other. I mean, there was Odi Hamora, Jaime Del Mundo, Bart Gingona. Those are my peers, and we would work together and we would help each other out, and stuff like that. But the basic foundation was really Baby and Bibot for me.
Yeah, no?
See, I'm just lucky that I've got both worlds. Because I'm from the College of Music, so my mentor there is Tita Fides. And I also got the theater world. Because they're totally different the discipline. So I'm just lucky that talagang in repertory, talagang tatanggalin kasi the ego You know, the egos of classical singers, it's really different. Yeah, because, when you study music, sometimes it took me 9 years. That's why my dad said, I have a Magna 9 years. For me to graduate. Because I was busy, because rap was my home. As in, school, rap. School, rap. So, then we, parang sama pa sa, tour, world tour, whatever. So, LOA muna. So, yun nga, I was a Magna 9 years. So,
I love
so
that.
same
I
with,
love that.
yeah, so same with the other musicians or classical singers. They call it their gigs or nobody graduates on time. So, yun, Magna 9 years din sila. So, to them, na parang, ang tagal ko nag-aral. So, you have this certain air. That's why I'm so lucky I got both worlds. Very thankful with Tita
You're
Bibot's,
able to balance it out.
yeah, with Tita Bibot's Iron Fist. Because without that, oh my God, maybe I'll be also...
Yeah, I mean, she just,
Yeah.
if you were scared, she'd just scream, do it!
Yeah.
Just do it!
Oh my.
So,
If not, if you're 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock rehearsals,
Yeah.
4.01.
Yeah, oh my God.
Ashtray na yan.
the biggest fear is if you're late and the elevator opens and she's standing there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is such a
happened to
scary.
you?
Yeah, it happened to me a couple of times, you know. Raymond and I, who were in theater very, very early, and then the performances were at Insular Life Ayala.
Yes, I remember that.
And sometimes it's traffic. Raymond and I would get down from the car and run just to make it
Yeah.
on time.
Oh, that's so
Kaya
fun.
Mikas Kasera lahat ng nagsasakay sa akin, lahat nakaganon. I don't know you. Kasi nakagayan, sabi ko, sorry ha, kasi ang ano yan, because of repertory, you can't be late. So,
Yeah, that's the discipline she instilled in us. At least our batch. That's why we're never late. We're always early. You know, we were trained that way.
being on time is,
Huh?
Being on
Being
time
on time is
is late. Yeah.
Being on time is late.
You have to be.
If you don't appear, you better be dead.
or even if you're dead,
Let's make a meal.
even if you're dead, huwag ka muna magpa-cremate.
Yeah. So it's stuff like that. But that's instilled in us. So I'm never late.
Yeah.
Never late. I'm always
Yeah, early.
early.
Yeah.
I always. The big joke now is I'm the one who opens the theater.
Yes.
They're always teasing me because I'm always so early because I like to relax. I
Yeah.
don't like to be stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I come early. Sometimes the theater's still closed. I'm like, excuse me, can you open the theater? Mamang aga mo. Sorry.
Because if the call time is, or rehearsals at 4, you're expected to do your vocalizations, your stretching.
Then
Yeah.
Those
Reverse.
should have
Yes.
been done already.
Yes, you come prepared to work. And then sometimes people come and dun lang sila nagme-memorize. No, you don't. This is not the time for that. This is the time for creating. You do
Yeah.
all of that at home.
Before.
But a lot of times they come in and they're like, okay, tell me what to do. I'm like,
And no alternates.
yeah, we didn't have alternates.
Yeah.
We didn't have understudies. You go on stage, you're sick or not. I've done musicals where I narrated my songs because I had no voice. Baby had bronchitis in one show. I forget which one. The moment that's the curtain closed, she collapsed. Hospital, dextrose, balik for the
Oh
evening.
my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Junix broke his leg. He was on crutches in Sweeney Todd.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had to perform. We had no
Yeah, me
understudy.
also.
You
Di ba?
also. In Scrooge, she broke her toe.
Yeah.
As in,
Yeah. So it
and
was
she told me, basagin mo yan, kundi ako magbabasag yan. Sa takot ko lang, I had to go. I went back to my doctor, and my doctor
God,
said,
that's right.
yeah, my doctor said that, Karla, no, I think you need one
Because
more
it was
week.
in a cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you need one more week to heal. No. So they made me sign
waiver.
a waiver. And until now, hindi siya nag-heal. That's why I have to wear comfortable shoes or
Yeah.
everything with bound.
Yeah.
That's Tita Bibot.
Yeah.
Whatever is Tita Bibot.
Again, we're not saying it was the right thing to
Yeah.
do, but it was also at a time, and I realize now because we used to call Tech Week Hell Week. We would all be hiding in our dressing rooms. Hiding, remember? Hiding because you hear her screaming and you're so nervous going on, right? But then we realized now that we produce, we were doing 2 seasons a year, 5 plays per season. That's
Yeah.
10 plays. So it's literally close a show, open the we close on a Sunday, we open on a Friday. So if she didn't scream, nothing would get done because everything was, pwede na yan. And she was so adamant about it being good. And now I realize, no wonder. Because many times I want to scream,
Yeah.
but we can't do that
Now.
Anymore.
But I realized in my head, okay, patience, Menchu, patience. Now I know why they would scream.
Yeah.
Not that it was good,
Yeah.
because we were all scared to death to get on that stage, terrified. But
But
I
we're
realized-
opening a show. And still in the afternoon,
Yeah.
we're rehearsing for another show.
Yeah, we're performing in between matinee. We rehearse, we perform because we were doing five.
And there's children's theater pa in the morning.
Yeah, so and they became very good at giba set, build the next set
Yeah.
for the matinee. They became experts at that. I was like, wow, this is amazing. How are they doing
What
this?
is the theater world like today compared to?
Oh, it's booming,
Booming.
now.
Yeah.
There's so many theater companies. So I'm very, very happy because it's booming. We have Phil Stages, how many? 15?
15, I think.
15 theater companies. And so it's great because it has become a viable, what is the word? Viable
Income.
income. Actors can survive. You couldn't before.
Yeah.
Because you only had very few. Because, syempre, you can't do all the shows if
Yeah.
you're of a certain age and look, right? But now they bounce from one show to the other.
Which we cannot before.
Yes.
Kasi
Oh, we were. We
kundi,
were.
ano
Because
ka na,
then there was only
blacklisted.
PETA and rep.
That's
And
it.
you never crossed over. Now everybody's just crossing.
You can do
over.
that now.
Yes, before
we
no.
couldn't before.
So it's good for the actors.
Yes.
What about audiences? Is it easy to get them to come and
Um,
pay for tickets?
it depends,
Depends,
on the
yeah.
material.
Oh,
It depends on the material, and I think it depends on when in the year.
Okay.
So people still like musicals here.
Yeah.
Plays are not easy to sell. Plays are difficult to sell. We're a very musical country.
Yeah.
If it's a familiar title, they're gonna buy it. You know, but it's still. You never know. You think it's gonna sell, and then it doesn't. You think this is
It's
not
not
gonna
gonna
sell,
sell.
then it does. You never know. You never
It's
know.
a gamble.
It's
Yeah.
a gamble.
And it's nice to see that the ticket buyers are the young ones.
yeah,
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
30s?
Even younger.
Younger?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
That's good to know.
yeah.
But speaking of the young ones, right? I mean, they are they're called, I mean, they're the generation of digital natives. So why do you think that their interest in live theater has spiked, has boomed?
Live theater is different. It's a different experience.
It's different.
Like, for example, during the pandemic, di ba, like they had online so Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
It's different eh. Parang, it's a different experience. I watched it, pero parang sabi ko, huh? How come it was different when I saw it live?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess because I know a lot of young ones, in particular, let's say Spring Awakening, that
Yeah.
I would see them outside and they're like, this is my 4th time. I really love this musical. This is my 4th time. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I guess there's maybe more of an awareness because of YouTube and all that. Because when we were growing up,
Wala.
this didn't exist. You want to watch Broadway, you got to go to New York.
Tama, tama.
You know, there was none of that. I remember when we were, I was in my early 20s, and the Tony Awards would come to us in a Betamax
Yes.
from
yes.
New York, and we'd all go to Audie's house because he was the
And
only
watch
one with the machine, and we'd
Yeah.
all watch it because we had no access to that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of kids go study abroad, they travel, they see musicals,
Yeah.
there's YouTube, you can see all of the shows on YouTube.
That's
So I
right.
guess there's more of an awareness now,
that
and they
really
know these
helps.
musicals. Sometimes they know musicals I didn't even know.
know.
I was like, what is that musical?
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, and it's some obscure little musical, and I'm like, wow, I've never even heard of this musical. So
And with social medias, na talagang merong, there's a community.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if you've noticed, but I feel like the local theater actors also have become celebrities in and of themselves. I mean, you have people like Reb Atadero
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
even people like Sheena Benedicts Ramos and all these other actors who do a lot of work in the theater, and yet they have a lot of fans.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts
They
on
follow
that? And how-
them.
Yeah, they follow
Yeah.
them, and like how the audience has evolved in that
Yeah.
sense. Because before, if we say they have fans, that's usually referring to like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
Showbiz.
it's also
Showbiz.
because these people do a lot of posts. They post, like Reb had that whole
Yeah.
History, you should
history
know.
thing. There you know it, or boom, there it
Boom,
is,
now
or
you
something.
know.
Now you know. So I guess because it's such a social media oriented,
They have their own.
they have the
would say-
pandemic.
yeah.
I remember so many rose to stardom because of their what did you call when you sing? What was it called?
Kumu?
Kumu.
Kumu.
They rose to because of Kumu.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
so
remember.
so it was like they had and it carried on because then there was an awareness of these actors online. So it carried on to them. Oh, she's live. Let's go watch her. And
Yeah.
because they continue to post,
They're
they
called
develop-
influencers.
that's right. They develop
Right.
a following, and they literally follow these artists. It's
To all
it's
the different shows.
yeah, it's quite remarkable.
Nice.
You know.
That's
Yeah.
Quite,
good.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a whole different
Yeah.
it's a different crowd. You
Yeah.
you have to know social media,
Yeah.
of which I know nothing about.
That's why even marketing, promoting shows, it's so
Yeah.
different now. As in
yeah, I was
managing
gonna
artists,
It's
it's
so
different.
different.
Before,
Yeah.
ngayon you have to be in TikTok.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't even have TikTok. I don't know how to do it.
It's different.
I remember in Spring Awakening there was a lot of TikTok.
Yes, there was.
And they were like,
yes.
Mensch, can you do a day in the life of? I said, please don't ask me to do that because I don't know how to do that. I will just get so stressed. Can somebody just do it for me? Because I'm really not,
Techie.
that's not my era.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't understand it.
Don't want to.
I don't really want to, only because technology terrifies me. So, I mean, before I got GCash, it took me a while. Before
Yeah.
people were like, will you just get GCash already? I'll do it for you. Give me your phone. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, I don't have Spotify. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
but
you
I don't
should.
know. Yeah, I know, right? And I keep telling, but I'm like, wait, I get very overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed because I'm not a techie at all. So during the pandemic where we had to do the Zoom and the
Yeah.
oh my God, I was so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. I'm very terrified of technology. But I
Yeah.
should get Spotify. I should.
Yeah.
Even my brother's like, ano ka ba?
Of course.
Raymond is like, he sends me, goes, listen to this, Mensch, listen to this, because he will put this in the concert, because I direct his concerts. And I'm like, Ray, I can't, it's on Spotify. He goes, ano ka ba? You get Spotify already? I'll look for it on YouTube. I have YouTube. But yes, it's really my fear of technology.
Yeah.
I'm not a techie at all. So when things go crazy in the computer, I go bonkers, you know. So it really, so I want simple. Please
Yeah.
don't make it complicated for me. But I agree. I really should make an effort. I should.
The marketing is different talaga
Oo.
with the marketing something, the promotions.
Yeah.
Before it was flyers, posters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the side effect of that is the sponsorships. It's so hard now to get sponsors because
How come?
before they need that area for the posters to be seen.
The
It's
logo.
the logo's there,
Oo.
but now
Where
bakit
will
pa
you
kami
put them?
maglalagay dyan?
Oo.
We already have that social media.
Yeah.
So
that's
wala
true.
nang sponsors.
That's true.
Yeah, so
That's
you've
true.
had to think of something else. To,
That's
Yeah, because they'd
To
rather
get
go
the
to an
support.
influencer.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a challenge.
Yeah,
you're working
that's
on
why
now.
when you see mga shows or the wala na talagang big sponsors.
There's maybe just like one or two
Yeah.
at most.
That are big, yeah. Yeah.
You're lucky pa nga to have two. Even one.
Speaking from a producer.
Yeah, producer side. Yeah, that's the ano naman often.
So that's the challenge now.
Yeah.
for-
Yeah, it's a challenging
There's
world.
pros
Maybe
and
there's
cons.
Challenging world.
somewhere else you can tap, like others.
It's something I guess that you really need to study because it's not the way we used to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be on TikTok.
Oh my God. I have
You
to get-
do.
Yeah, that's the,
I
the way.
know. I should. I should.
Di ba? As in kayo, inaano kayo ng mga interns to do
Yes.
TikTok.
Yes, I'm like, can we do a TikTok? Okay,
Dance? Can you
what am I
dance?
gonna do? Dance? Can you do this? Can you? I was like, okay. All right, sige, okay.
Anyway.
But I can't open that, huh? I'm telling you
Yeah.
already now.
Yeah. So well, since we are social media, we're in the digital age and all that. Looking forward, what are your hopes for Philippine musical theater, Philippine opera? Moving forward,
Live
where do you want to see it
performances,
go? Live performances.
Well, of course, to have more shows and to give more jobs to the classical singers,
Yeah.
classical singers. Well, that's really our responsibility, the Philippine Opera Company, because there are a lot of students from the universities, from the conservatories, but what happens is they end up teaching. There's no problem with teaching, but they did not take music education. It's diba? It's performing arts. So they should be there in the limelight performing. So I hope there are more opportunities for them.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, you also have to remember when you see a musical, you only see the actors, but there's a whole barangay behind.
Yes.
And that is given employment to stagehands, movers, makeup people, dressers. So it's a whole system that makes up a musical, and you're giving work to all these people.
True.
Not necessarily just the ones you see on stage. You have musicians, you have ushers, it's a whole barangay, it's a village to put up a show. So for me, that's why I'm very happy there's so many companies, because then so many people are employed
That's good.
on stage and off stage. But what I do want to say is that it is also our responsibility as producers, as actors, to give the best of what we can to an audience. And always our best, never compromise. And I always say this, and this was ingrained in us with Bebot. If there's one person in the audience, you give 100%, because that one person made the effort to buy a ticket and come.
Yes.
But it's not, ay, konti lang, magmamark na lang ako. You know, you cannot.
Yeah.
So every audience deserves you at 100%. And so you have to elevate that. We have to elevate the performing arts in the Philippines. And that's why Masterclass
Yes.
Yes.
is a good show.
Speaking of, would you like to?
Would you like to invite our viewers?
You give the details.
And
Okay,
any
I'd like
parting
to
words?
invite everyone to come see Terrence McNally's Masterclass. We open May 15 and we run till May 30 at the RCBC Theater.
Theater.
And the details for tickets?
For tickets, you can call Philippine Opera Company 0917-645-2946 or through Ticket to Me.
Okay. Great. I hope a lot of people buy tickets.
Yeah, I hope so
and
too.
watch
I hope
it.
so
Oh, it's a
too.
beautiful
short
show.
run, but parang 2 weeks only.
3.
10 performances.
10
10
performances, 3
performances.
weeks.
We better catch it.
Yes.
So please
support.
catch the show.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this has been a truly inspiring
Thank
conversation.
you for the
Thank you.
invitation. Thank you so
Menchu,
much.
Lauchengco-Yulo, and Karla Gutierrez. It reminds us that art is not only about performance, but also about passion, discipline, mentorship, and the courage to tell meaningful stories.
Mga katribu, thank you for joining us on Pairfect. Don't forget to follow Daily Tribune for more stories that celebrate creativity, excellence, and the people who continue to shape our culture and artistic identity.
And before we go, mga katribu, Grab Philippines has a question for you. Are you always on the go or craving something or prefer to stay in? There's a more convenient way to get things done.
With Grab Philippines, traveling is made easier through Grab Car. Reliable rides at your fingertips.
And when you're feeling hungry, planning a last-minute gathering, or simply satisfying a late-night craving, Grab Food is ready to deliver, quick, easy, and hassle-free.
For everyday convenience, you can count on Grab has you covered.
Until next time, once again, I'm Dina Ventura,
And I'm Babeth Timbol, and this has been Pairfect.
where every story connects perfectly.
Yung buong bill daw ay sa Meralco na pupunta. I-fact check natin yan. Hello mga katribu at welcome sa Ask Manong Joe. May natanggap tayong tanong mula kay netizen Ma'am Leonor Malbar. Ang tanong niya, ano ho ba ang totoo? Sa Meralco ba napupunta ang extra charges? Salamat Ma'am Leonor sa inyong tanong at tayo ay narito para magbigay liwanag at magbigay ng impormasyon. Nang sa ganun ay hindi tayo maging biktima ng fake news at misinformation. Nalaganap naman, alam naman natin yan sa social media. Una, hindi extra charges ang tawag dito. At hindi totoo na sa amin, sa Meralco, napupunta ang charges na ito. Ang nakikita niyong senior citizen discount, lifeline subsidy, fit all, JAL at universal charges ay government mandated o public policy charges. Ibig sabihin, hindi ito kita ng Meralco. Taga-kolekta lamang po kami at agad naman namin itong nare-remit sa tamang ahensya o sa gobyerno. Bawat isa may kaukulang batas. Ang lifeline at senior subsidy sa isang cross-subsidy mechanism para makatulong sa mga kababayan nating higit na nangangailangan. Ang lifeline ay may kaukulang 1 centavo per kilowatt hour na charge. Ang senior naman ay 0.0001 per kilowatt hour. Ang universal charge naman po ay napupunta sa mga programang pang-enerhiya ng pamahalaan tulad ng electrification sa mga malalayong lugar o yung tinatawag na off-grid areas at watershed rehabilitation and management. Kasama na rin po dito ang bayad sa dating utang ng National Power Corporation. Sa Power Sector Assets and Liabilities Management Corporation o PISALM ito nire-remit ng Meralco. Habang ang Feed-in Tariff Allowance o PIT-all at Green Energy Auction Allowance o JAOL ay sumusuporta naman sa pagpapalawak ng renewable energy sa bansa. Diretso naman ito sa National Transmission Corporation o Transco. Mahalagang tandaan na ang mga ito ay tinakda ng pamahalaan. Sumusunod lamang ang Meralco at gayon din ang lahat ng distribution utilities at electric co-ops sa bansa sa mga regulasyong ito. Kaya mga katribo, maging mapanuri sa mga nababasa natin online. Importante mag-fact check at huwag basta maniwala sa fake news. Ask po ang inyong lingkod, Manong Joe, at ito ang Ask Manong Joe. Hanggang sa susunod na paliwanag.